Ladies and gentlemen, something terrible is going on. I mean, really, really bad. Patreon and Substack supporters, it's 10:37 a.m. It's the 28th of April, 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, I am horrified. Zionists target Cenc and Anna's families. This is very bad. I mean, I am shocked. Wait till you hear what has been happening. Wait till you hear. I remember when they went after me, they broke into my house literally every day. They would move furniture around. They would take all my legal paperwork. They removed my Jewish Bible given to me by a Christian Jewish lady friend. Can't quite give up the Hebrew ethnicity angle, but love Jesus. And they then returned it along with my paperwork about 3 weeks later. They stole my passport. They broke into the house continuously. They smashed cars. They cut brake lines. They smashed windows. All my friends got their cars attacked over a period of weeks. Friends got broken into. I just kept my mouth shut. My sister died mysteriously 6 weeks after being warned, we'll kill your family with heart attacks and strokes. You've got a nerve taking on the pound. The pound is the pound of flesh. It's a nickname for the Mossad. So it's just been horrendous. Tried to kill me in jail. Horrendous things. Hacked, harassed. I couldn't get things to work. They were breaking into the electronic gate and leaving it open, changing code words, hacking my router, changing the password on my router, making sure I couldn't switch off the wire. It's been horrendous. Very horrendous time. A lot better since I burnt everything to the ground and just said, well, I'm going to Ukraine. They kind of backed off a bit. And I guess living in this gated community in Kieri with the electrified fence has definitely helped. It costs, but at what price security? So I'm so anxious to hear as Zionists target Cenc and Anna's families. This will truly be horrendous. And my bank accounts constantly messed with, constantly on the phone, accounts wouldn't work, couldn't book flights, just endless problems. Skype was hacked. It just went on and on and on. So let's hear the horrors, ladies and gentlemen, the horrors being felt by our multi-millionaire alt media superstars here to save us.
There are 38 states that have anti-BDS laws. Are you kidding me? I thought this was the country of free speech. I thought this is the country of free association.
What do those laws do?
They make it so that if you work in the government, you cannot protest Israel. You can't boycott them.
If you work in the government?
That's correct. If you're like a government contractor.
You mean if you're a private company that does government contracting,
that's correct.
You can't boycott Israel?
That's correct. You can't boycott Israel.
You better be careful, baby girl, because pretty soon every single one of your family members is going to get doxxed by the
Oh, it's bad. Nasty names and everything on Twitter, on X.
Israel first terrorists within our own borders. But if you're wondering who that was comedian Leonardo Joni on Tim.
Oh, Tim Pool's on. You know, the Chatham House guy that went to the Chatham House thing with the Chatham House rules and was paid $100,000 per week to rag on Ukraine for Putin. And there he is, still live on our television. It's a funny old world, isn't it? It's like the whole interactive internet activities is one giant army intelligence run operation, isn't it?
Pool's show where Tim Pool was pretending to not know what's going
Speaking of army intelligence, let's listen to Anna.
On in this country at all when it comes to an issue that he purported to care so much about, censorship. But, you know, there's a lot of censorship happening right now as it pertains to criticism over Israel. And Cenc and I have gotten a little taste of what it's like if you dare to criticize Israel. We're going to get to that in just a minute. But first, your 2 cents, Cenc.
Yeah, so Laura Loomer doxed my wife over the weekend, and then she did it again too.
She didn't kill your wife? They didn't shoot your wife? They didn't smash her car? Did they shoot out the windows in her office? You went to the Wharton Business School, same place Donald Trump went. You're from a multi-millionaire ethnic Turkish family, Young Turk, a Jew born in Salonika, perhaps, Ataturk. Every one of you hangs around Jews, friends with Jews. Isn't it funny how the opposition all seem to be one? What did a Jew once wisely tell me? Hey, Brennan, you want to watch an Arab and a Jew make peace? Put a kilo of cocaine between them, watch them do a deal. Every single one of you are mixing and you're all millionaires claiming to be attacked. Have you not noticed this with the alt media world? You don't know what being attacked's like. You have no fucking idea. You have no idea. We remember what happened when you attacked Israel and went after AIPAC. Ask former Congresswoman Cynthia McKinney, who you'd think Candace Owens would have a fellow black American on, wouldn't you? Regardless of her politics, as they supposedly diverge from yours, but we doubt that. But regardless, why wouldn't you have on Congresswoman Cynthia McKinney, the very first American politician to really go after Israel post-2001? You won't even hear her name mentioned. It's funny that. I don't care whether you think I like her or dislike her or whatever. I give credit where credit is due because she gets many papal indulgences when you go after the enemy, when it costs you. It costs you. Not, oh, I'm a multimillionaire business and my family are multimillionaires and I go to Wharton Business and I live in Beverly Hills and my business is in Beverly Hills and I just happen to be completely surrounded by Jews. Yeah. Let's listen on.
Anna's husband, that's the second go around. So there are Israeli terrorists that are inside America and their job is to terrorize innocent Americans.
Terrorize them. Bury the nasty words on X. It's very nasty.
Who criticize Israel.
Pro-Israel terrorists.
Oh, sorry, yes.
Because they're not all Israeli.
No, they're not Israeli. They're largely Americans who value Israel 10 billion times more than America. And in fact, they have great disdain for any Americans who object and try to literally ruin their lives and their families. And we're going to prove it to you right here.
So it started with Laura Loomer over the weekend where she got very touchy when Cenc wondered, who's paying Laura Loomer? Like, she spends all day on X. Like, you can't bankroll your lifestyle by making money off X. Okay, like, who's paying you to live?
Or you give them blowjobs to the president and all the Secret Service. I mean, that helps a little, at least.
Okay,
so by the way, that's not just conjecture. Wall Street Journal, I happened to read a story from a little while ago where Wall Street Journal confirmed that she has donors that finance what she does. And what she does is spread hatred and bigotry.
And the laugh is the same donors that finance her will be the same donors that finance these people. Because they're not going to tell you anything you don't already know. It's very mean. Genocide. You could talk about the Pax Silica and the fact that all the critical infrastructure of America is controlled directly by Israeli companies with Israeli CEOs and Israeli employees and Israeli electrical engineers and Israeli programmable logic chips and Israeli industrial controller chips. And now it's being legislated, not that the BDS movement, you can't criticize Israel, but they're now legislating in the cover-up to force people to accept real-time AI, industrial controller chip, programmable logic chip control of your critical infrastructure. You know, water, sewerage, power, electrical, databases, all of that stuff. You'd think one of these clowns would tell you that, but they never tell you that. They don't have Google, they have 27 permanent staff, they have 5 permanent researchers, they fly around on private jets, they certainly always fly business class. You'll never see these people in economy. They run multi-million-dollar empires and they're always fighting and they're always under attack. They got bad champagne in first class and they're always struggling and they're getting funded by George Soros or they're getting funded by a Kissinger network. Have you noticed? And they just throw the bone in and everyone goes, bark, bark, Israel bad, Jews bad. And then they bring in the opposition and it's bark, bark, I'm being attacked. You wouldn't know what being attacked was like. And one of the cardinal rules is never talk about subjects that really matter. Like, I don't know, who built the F-35, who core-coded a lot of the code and messed it up and then got them to take it all to Israel. And then it was all miraculously fine because the American contractors were too stupid because only genius Russian SVR and GRU sleepers could possibly fix all that code in the F-35. Why do you think the F-35 is permanently grounded in America with a 35% availability rate while it's got a 75% 100% availability rate in Israel. Why is that? Because Israel's not spending all day pulling out all the compromised programmable logic chips, all the compromised code, and trying to remove all the shit that Israel put inside that F-35. And Matt Gaetz got that right when they pulled up the Pentagon. Why is it at 35%? Well, they didn't want to tell you, was it, oh, well, we're putting in a new model. That's what they were pushing around, the connected people. Oh, they were putting it, you know what the new model is? The one with all the Israeli shit pulled out of it. But you're never going to hear about it from Cenc and Anna, or from Tim Pool, or from Alex Jones, or from Tucker Carlson. By now, it's got to be sinking in slowly with people how they run this show. All right, if I look at Fox News, we'll toss a bone in, or MSNBC, and that's the issue they squabble about for the day. The next bones get tossed in. Everyone squabbles over that one. Next bone gets pushed in. Everyone squabbles over that one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Coffee mugs are on special. Cyber is the real domain of power. Look, I know I keep talking about making coffee mugs, but I definitely will start producing coffee mugs. I promise. And t-shirts. I really want the BB Twick Twompy ones. I love that one. Well, baby, it's Twick and Twompy. So the games continue. Now, have you seen King Charles? It's hilarious. I've never seen a sycophant like Donald Trump bow. You look at the alpha, who's the boss there, and he's like a little boy, and you think, gee, maybe it's all true. All these Jesuit Windsor-connected people. Oh, I don't know, like these people. Oh, and by the way, they swear they're going to sue. We should sue. We should sue. That you could absolutely sue, but they never do. In the most litigious country in the world, they're always getting attacked. They always say they should sue, but they never sue. Listen, if someone doxes you, it's about intent. It's like, are you a public figure? Is it in the public interest? Is it newsworthy? You could sue the ass off these people. You could put Laura Loomer in jail, but they never sue. Ever, by the way. We should sue. Watch them never sue. They never sue. King Charles, let's get back to that. Can I get a jolly good Natalie Ho? You know who that is? For those of you who don't know, that is the former Jesuit priest in training, Tony Abbott. The poor you will have with you always, he said. He said, dude, wrong quote to tell Australians when they can't afford a house, dude. You and Joe Hockey smoking cigars. You and Hubbard Lubavitch, what's his name? Frydenberg. The poor you will have with you always. These people. He's honest. Tony can't help himself. He's fit. He boxes at least. I was invited out with all their friends, just to let you know. Okay? Who's he with? Oh, that would be Prince William. Princess Diana's pretend son. King Charles's pretend son. That's the bodyguard son. There's King Charles. Wow, you're invited out with those people? Yeah, because I met Peter Schack in prison. Peter Schack is a liberal powerhouse, like a Karl Rove sort of a guy. Hated the Fabian socialist Bob Hawke. Well, that's his best friend. I met him in jail. I also met these people I was invited out with. Now, who might this be, you ask? I've put this up literally 1,000 times. A literal 1,000 times in the last 10 plus years. Minister Joe Francis and ex-Special Forces Commander James McMahon, Perth, Western Australia. He rang me on October the 10th or October the 14th. 2014, after I said, if you don't arrest, charge, investigate Liam Samuel Cashman, the senior prison officer who tried to have me killed by his bikie friends, the Finks, Troy McCanty, the Tribe, the Yahud, the organised criminal rat for the last 30 years in Perth, if you don't investigate them, I'll kill the bastard. And Minister Joe Francis called me on my phone. It was almost 33 minutes. It was 32 minutes. Damn. Nearly had the camera in front of me. Did I record? Didn't I? Who can say? Who knows when that might be released? Minister Joe Francis, good guy, cleaning out the corruption in the prison system. He's the Minister for Corrective Services. Okay? You know, that is SAS, Special Air Service, Special Forces Commander, Colonel James McMahon. High-level intel. All best friends with our Jesuit PM, Tony Abbott, former PM, Prime Minister. And lo and behold, I'm invited out for beers and I am assured by the minister, then serving in 2014, Joe Francis of the Liberal Party, which is like the Republicans, conservative, that number one, Don't worry, James McMahon has my back. And do you know why he had to make him the Corrective Services Commissioner to clean out the jails? Because they had to get in a Special Forces commander because he was getting threatened, right, by his own prison officers, because he was stopping the drugs getting into the jail. Okay, he said, not to worry, James has my back. You're going to be joining us for beers with the boys, all the Jesuits. Now the Jesuit, Justice Mazza, good guy. Justice Mazza even was kind enough to put an article in the West Australian just before I got out of jail, and I quote, Jesuits no longer dance to tune of former masters. I repeat, Jesuits no longer dance to tune of former masters. I immediately chopped out that news article. It was 2/3 of a whole page. Friend Graham, also an avid newspaper clipping collector, chopped that out. In my property, in my box, they went through it and they removed that one news article. When I got out, I thought, you bastards. I knew it. I knew they would, because they always check your stuff before you go. I called Graham. Graham, do you have that article? He says, yes, I've got it. I'll go get it right now. And he said, it's gone. Someone's been in here. Jesuits no longer dance to tune of former masters. Justice Mazza was very good. Jesuits everywhere. You know the other Jesuit? Because they just came straight out to me and told me they were Jesuits. It's like, and I'm sorry, don't belong to any secret society, but you always seem to be trying to recruit me, whether it's the Mormons or the Jews or the Masons, the Lodge. Everyone's trying to recruit me for as long as I can remember. Like getting stalked. Little coincidental meetings. So, do you know who the other one was? South African intelligence. You know his name? Bill Bosch, the head of Serco prison intelligence at Acacia Prison. Bill Bosch, South African intelligence, also a Jesuit. I'm presuming in that club is also Senator Andrew Hastie. Let's get him up. Oh, by the way, the Jesuits are so powerful. This is what intrigues me. The minister was threatened continuously and had to get a special forces commander to protect him when he tried to take on corruption within Western Australia, the drug trafficking within the prison system and corruption. I want you to think about that. But he's with the Jesuits, right? You know how bad it got for him? Corrective Services Minister Joe Francis clashes with notorious sex offender TJD. That's October the 24th, 2014. Basically, Joe, because he said, call me Joe. I called him minister. He said, call me Joe. We'll be hanging out. We're having a beer. That's with the gang. It's high-level intel, connected in with the British, the Crown, Jesuits. So lo and behold, the Jesuits being so powerful, it's like the Crown. They run everything. And the Jewish-controlled press kindly put all their scandals in the newspaper for them. Must be a part of some cunning plot. And Prince Andrew is exposed in the Jewish-controlled press. How interesting. The Vatican also obviously running the world, even though it's broke, but that must be part of a cunning plot also. Being broke, that's just to put you off the scent, cannot either also keep out of the Jewish-controlled press. But I do know one group of people that managed to keep them out of the Jewish-controlled press. And in fact, if you opened your mouth against them, they threw you in jail. I know what happened to me. And do you know who came and protected me? Do you know who spoke out the loudest about this? A big bunch of fucking Jesuits. So if I'm exposing the Jesuit conspiracy, why the aren't I dead? Can anyone explain that to me? Jesuits no longer dance to tune of former masters. Do you think the Crown hates their guts and King Charles is over with Donald, give us the Middle East, let me to a few people over here, let's get these things back on track. Don't worry, they still want to kill us all. But I'm just giving you some juicy tidbits to mull over as you try to blame the Jesuit conspiracy lizards. But because you can't say Jew, Jewish power. I know you're a gutless coward, but you can do it. We understand what Jewish power is, British activist Paul Lyson. We can make distinctions. We can all use our brains. We can talk Jewish power, political Zionist movement, very specifically. Because the House of Windsor doesn't have their programmable logic chips, okay, in US critical infrastructure. The House of Windsor can't keep its scandals out of the newspapers. The House of Windsor couldn't even control Jimmy Goldsmith's half-daughter, Princess Diana, because that's the little mixing of the Hoofjuden and the noble families of Europe and the UK. So this is who's coming around me. They're always coming around me. But they're so powerful, the minister is getting his house broken into. The minister told me how stupid his Department of Corrective Services were, who didn't know the difference between $10 million and $100 million in the GPS tracking budget for sex offenders. Within 10 days of our conversation, in fact, earlier than that, within 8 days of that conversation, the minister is approached by notorious sex offender TJD, who's on a GPS tracker, reaching into his bag in the car park of Parliament House, and he's there to complain to the minister about his GPS restrictions. Wow, what a coincidence. But doesn't the minister run the world with the Jesuits? Didn't he get on the Jesuit alien and Illuminati phone and call up and have all this sorted out? They broke into his home a few weeks later. You know who that is? That's Kerry Stokes. You wouldn't know who that was, because we're just in little backward Perth, Western Australia. That is James Packer, son of Kerry Packer. That is Kerry Stokes, the owner of the Seven Network and a multi-billionaire multimedia. The guy that's pictured with Kissinger in Beijing in 2002. The guy, the boy from the bush, who made it from nowhere with a Spanish-looking mother. Remember James Packer, bribery charges with Netanyahu. Kerry Stokes tells how he rescued James Packer from financial ruin at the price of fortune book launch. Oh my, who's that? Oh, that's Kerry Stokes. The guy with the Spanish-looking mother. Owns a Seven Network billionaire. It's with our little Jesuit friend, Tony Abbott, who I was invited out with. How interesting. Ooh, what's this about? It's James Packer. Broke up with Mariah Carey, October 9, 2019. Bibi was the only one who managed to convince him to come to Israel. I think that saved his life, Haaretz reports Milchan is saying. Oh, who would that be? Would that be Arnold Milchan? All these people know Arnold Milchan? Producer of JFK, Oliver Stone? The multimillionaire refrigerator salesman turned Hollywood producer? Friends with Keanu Reeves, Netanyahu, Alex Jones, Ari Emanuel? Wow. What a tangled web we weave, according to billionaire and Hollywood producer Arnold Milchan. James Packer. Wow, how interesting. Oh, what do we have here? The West Australian newspaper, my friends. Actually, that's not a bad newspaper. When I travelled around Australia, I went, our newspaper is actually pretty good compared to the rest of this tribe. Look at this, September the 8th, 2014. I was out of jail in January, and I was getting hounded, harassed. I was telling the police, you keep this up, there's going to be trouble. Remember, the next month, I'm talking to the minister on the phone. Okay, 2014. There's Kerry Packer on the front page of the West Australian, his own newspaper, part of the Seven Network. It's Australia-wide. What do we have here? He's bought a $15.5 million art treasure to call Perth home, cobbers. Strikey, stone the crows. Look at that. Croc. Look at those teeth. Snap. Look, he's got what's this, a Bible? Looks like a really old book. He's paid $15.5 million. Whoa. Oh, it's the Rothschild prayer book. Wow. 4 pages are mysteriously missing. The original owner is unknown, but has found its way into the hands of the Rothschild banking family, seized by the Nazis in 1938. Little old Western Australia. Anyone would think it was a hideout for a bunch of Jewish scumbag pieces of shit. Hiding out in Western Australia. We're in Patagonia. We're in Patagonia. Look over there. Look over there. Oh no, man. They've completely taken over Australia. Well, you haven't noticed? with the Keir Starmer style laws where you can't say from the river to the sea. I've told people how to get it. You just make it a national security issue. Do you know I bleated this for this long? Make it a national security issue. That's how you get at them. We go to Muslim countries. None of them want to talk about it. We go to Iran. I go to Lebanon. It's like they run all these countries and have got all their fake Muslims and fake Christians and some would say even kind of fake Jews. Who are these people? Are they all Jesuits? They all seem to be into Rothschild, prayer book. Oh, what's going on? I'm so confused. They're all hanging out with the Windsors. They're all inviting me out for tea and biscuits, but they haven't killed me. Justice Mazza. Jesuits no longer dance to tune of former masters. Oh my jingo, my golly gosh. There's Kerry Stokes, I'm presuming the Jesuit, with Julie Bishop, the foreign minister, who lied, cheated, stole, and she pissed off ASIO so much. I heard they told her if you try to run for local after she left office as a federal member, you're not running for, she was going to go into local politics, and they warned her off. I got an email, Dear Mr. O'Connell, random XYZ up and down at protonmail.com. Subject, your UN refugee document link. Then it had, Dear Mr. O'Connell, could you please provide a link to your UN refugee document? Full stop. Thank you. And I just went straight away. That is someone in an official position. I sent it. 2 weeks later, she had suddenly bowed out of politics. So ASIO had been making inquiries. This is what I heard back. Because people contact me. They don't say I'm from ASIO, but they're clearly people that are pissed off with this whole thing. These are people that have been warning about Israeli infiltration, our critical infrastructure, right, and being transferred, told to resign, and all the rest of this stuff. Remember Peter Wright. Okay, remember the 1980s. Remember his book, Spycatcher. All right, when Victor Rothschild was trying to become the head of MI6 and MI5, Margaret Thatcher wouldn't let him. He was very angry.
In truth, there was some justification for MI5's unease. For many years, Wilson had surrounded himself with a small cadre of very rich, but sometimes crooked, businessmen, bestowing prime ministerial honours on many of them. A lapse of judgment which his official biographer attributed to a weakness for a company of flamboyant self-made men, a swashbuckling adventurer, especially if Jewish, appealed to him. 4 of these entrepreneurs excited particular security service interest. Robert Maxwell MP and publisher of hagiographies of communist leaders, Rudi Sternberg, a German-born Jewish refugee from Nazi persecution, who had become a plastics-producing plutocrat and owed much of his sizable fortune to trade with Warsaw Pact countries, Harry Kissin, the son of a Russian grain merchant who helped finance Wilson's private office with the profits of his own Soviet bloc trading, and Joseph Kagan, a Lithuanian-born industrialist who had fled to Britain after the Nazis invaded his homeland and founded an eponymous textile empire which manufactured one of Wilson's signature clothing items, the Ganex raincoat. MI5 opened files on each of them and began covertly briefing conservative journalists about their contents, as well as the Prime Minister's refusal to heed its concerns.
And Peter Wright said half the British establishment are Soviet spies, literally. Or the elites in the universities, in the banking financial sector. We're going to go into all that, and then everything makes sense. So there's Julie. We carry Stokes. It's just one big happy family over there in little Western Australia. You think it's a backward, kangaroo humping, koala bear hugging, backward shithole, don't you? Oh, it's so rich. It's got so much money. Oil and gas, rare earths, they've got massive, the gas fields are as big as the Pars, if not bigger. They just completely tell you, oh no, it's not very big. It's good size. It's only a tenth the size of the fields in Iran and Iraq and Kuwait. It's a freaking lie. They got so much oil there, they don't know what to do with it. It's all capped. I used to talk to oil and gas people, high level. The amount of lies, oh, we're running out of rare minerals. This is everywhere. This stuff they have barely touched 10% of the Earth's natural resources. There's always shortages. We're not got enough. It's always a calamity. The sky is falling. The Jews are going to kill us and make me watch porn. The Muslims are going to lop my head off. On and on and on. Climate change, horse pucky, the Chinese are coming, while they all scramble and try to make $1 and form this new world order of scumbags. And we'd like to think they might be able to deal with these scumbags, but I don't know. Can we? Look at this network that surrounded me. Look at Tommy Corrigan getting calls from Joe Kent. We're just humble, small people. How you doing? Come into our little circle. Let's talk about something else. Got a bit of extra money? Brandon, look at your new chair, bro. Look, you got a new chair. And it's an awesome freaking chair. I got to say, only $200, but man, it was worth it. It's solid as a rock, doesn't creak. Arms go up and down. And I mean, it is comfy as. Best money I've spent. I was almost not going to do it because then I thought, getting that extra cash now from the cross promotion. See, they give you a little taste. Then if you just play ball and after sending them all emails saying, we need to talk about Pax Silica, Israeli total control of critical infrastructure. All right, we need to talk about the blackmail, bro. Yeah, Griggs, all the old classics. Oh, no. Let's just now, if you're smart, Brendan, and shut your mouth, you'll get some extra money. And if we see you over a period of time shutting your big mouth, playing the game, talking about this, jerking each other off, demanding money for having a chat over the internet. And ladies and gentlemen, wouldn't you like to get paid to have a chat? No preparation, no editing, no effort. Think about it. And you get paid. They expect to get paid. Think about it. You just got to bullshit and talk online and cross-promote with your friends and give a line? How perfect. What a life. And then you're going to tell him, thank you for risking all. Here's $10 from my sad, pathetic, mortgage-paying existence. And that's good enough for you. You mean to say, hey, you can't see the plot? Just take the money, Brandon. And what we'll do, we're going to put you on a holding pattern like an air traffic controller. And if you're a good little boy, you're doing your prayers, got your demons settled, we're going to put you on a holding pattern. You're going to go to business class. You're going to relax a little. We're going to get some extra cash. And we're just going to keep pushing you. Always good. He gets it. He's got the message. Just let these people lead the way. They'll ignore his emails and he'll just accept it. And we'll just talk about other stuff and this stuff and 500-year-old stuff. And you can talk about the history, but don't talk about 9/11 and don't talk about Pax Silica. Don't talk about the US-Israel Energy Act. Don't talk about the complete takeover of our critical infrastructure and all our databases. Don't talk about it now. We want that database stuff gone now, please. Please stop talking about it. All right, we're in a desperate negotiation period. The king's come over. We're going to divvy up, give something to the Windsors so he can give it to, because he hates Rothschild and all the rest of them as well. And we'll begin taking over the world. Don't worry, none of the pedophiles will go to jail. Fauci's mass murder, no one will be held accountable. Bill Gates will continue to rape little 10-year-old Eastern Bloc children, then kill them and bury them in his backyard. But that's fine. We're creating a new world order. We're creating a Pax Americana. We're going to have some convergence with the UK, maybe even Europe, and we're going to build it on blood and bones and misery and destruction. And we're all going to have Jesus on our lips while we do it. I don't think that's going to last personally, but what do I know? But you're beginning to see the pattern. Do you understand how unique this is? Very unique. Very unique. But no one seems to want to read that UN document. Why bother? Except for geopolitics and empire, my little Croatian friend. And he did a good job. And he even wrote a nice little thing. Yes, we've got to move into politics. I thought, there's the normal response. And I got to be honest, when I read his website and saw who he hung out with, he's got World Economic Forum written all over him. Switzerland, you name it. Look at the background of that guy. But isn't it funny how these people turn out to be the most honest? I think partly because they're just the most well-traveled and they've seen it all. And they've hung out with all these people and they go, maybe that's why. But all these patriots, got Joe Kent calling in, the patriot. Let's not talk about 9/11 or that Pax Silica. Can you see? Holding pattern. Then maybe in 2 years, Mary's been held in obscurity for 2 years. Now we're ready to go. New negotiations have been done. This is the positive version of trust the plan. I have a distrust the plan, but we trust the plan. I play the game. I make a little bit of money. I maybe even get to fly business class once, which is my dream, but I'm in first class. But let's not be greedy. Business class will do. Never flown business class in my life. I can't even imagine what that's like. But after 7 hours on the plane to Iran 4 times, I'd had enough of that. Not a wide body jet, 3 seats, 2 rows, like the little mid-commercial jet for the 2-hour flight. 7 hours later, I'd had enough. I was looking at business class going, oh. And that's all it takes. Give someone a little bit of money and then take them to the next, see how they react. They're playing ball. They're convinced they've internalized. I'm just a humble civil servant. I'm just a humble guy. Nobody's telling me what to do. I've just completely internalized the values because that's where the money is. And if I don't internalize this and pretend that I am automated and doing my job and it's all my own will, then I'm going to have problems justifying what I do. It's all about money. 90% of everything can be solved with money. 99%, your router just doesn't work. Your computer just doesn't work. There you go. Done. No guns need to go to anyone's head. Look at the people who have flocked around me, trying to recruit me for some reason. Why didn't they just kill me? I'm trying to get across not that there's good guys and bad guys, but there appear to be competing interests. Would you not agree? Would you not agree? Would you not agree? The fact that I have Colonel Andrew Kernan, his sister in my bed, he's the comptroller right now for the Pentagon. He runs the $1 trillion budget. He's the chief legal guy. Do you not see a pattern here? The Heritage Foundation knew I am. The Heritage Foundation had my UN document printed out. The Heritage Foundation never said publicly, but they said they almost want to thank you. I know this for a fact. Someone just wrote, do I have anyone in the Heritage? No, no one's there now. We used to have people in, I love having people in Alex Jones's office. It was great. What a guy's just a jerk off, demon-possessed piece of garbage, honestly. Honestly, I'm broke. They've taken all my money. Dude, he's got he had 60 million back 6 years ago in cash in his parents' LLC in Nevada, untouched. 60 million in cash. He's broke. He's got no money. Still saying he can't work it out. God. Try to explain to people, not to mention the drug trafficking going on, the drug transportation routes from the trucks delivering all the supplements, which is the way they move the drugs around. That whole company, Dr. Group, Pechanic, Kissinger, Wall Street, you're going to look to Whitney Webb's old man, Richard Webb IV. He's running these gigantic $200 million land deals, property deals, drug money laundering deals. It all goes into property. He's building these big community things for the elderly. They got all these RVs. Right, down there in Arizona, you can't see the way they're transporting drugs around the country. They pop over, they go, "Hi, I'm just a humble elderly retired couple in our RV." Well, bienvenidos, senor, please come, bienvenidos. And they go, just down for a 4-day trip through Baja, just down for a 4-day trip. We're going down through the central locations. Head down to Querétaro, down into Mexico City, maybe head across to Cancun. 4 days later, they come back, weather wasn't good. Senor, you have returned. Yes. Okay, enjoy returning back to America. And there's a ton of meth or fentanyl, 1,000 kilos stashed in that RV. They go to the retirement home. They leave it in the house. They Airbnb book the retirement home village house. It all gets unloaded in there. They spend one night there, jump back in their RV and drive off. Next minute, another couple pull in with a van of some description into the house, the Airbnb. It's all in a roof and the house has been custom built, so there's hidden room, maybe in the garage or somewhere. They then chuck all the stuff in there. They stay a night in this Airbnb in this semi-retirement village, all run by CIA case officer Richard Webb IV, drug money laundering. Then they get in their truck, car, RV, and they drive off and start delivering the drugs. Maybe they meet someone, they put in a semi-trailer that's carrying Dr. Group's Patriot supplies. And they're delivering all the Patriot supplies and all the MRE packs, ammunition, all the Patriots are all on the books. Brandon Herrera, all with the Texas billionaires. Good old Grand Thumb. This one big network, and I'm going to find Ari and Rahm Emanuel in that network. I'm going to find Israelis, Joe Rogan, pushing. They're going to make money off the drugs. They're going to make money off the drug rehab. That's the system. And they're all into the private prison industrial complex. They run an Air America to transport a prisoner who needs a psychiatric evaluation. He could go 1 hour up the road in the prison van to see the psychiatrist. or the psychiatrist could visit the prison, or the in-house psychiatrist could see them. But no, they're going to put that prisoner on a plane owned by a private company associated with the prison industrial complex system, and they're going to fly him across America. Roger Reeves used to tell me about this. And they're going to give him his 1 hour consultation with the psychiatrist who simply can't be seen 1,000 miles away. Then they're going to hold him over there. It's going to generate income. It's going to generate prisoner transfers. It's going to generate income like blood and bone income from the drug war, which they run. They run the drug wars. They run the security companies. They run the security camera companies. They run the security companies. They run the programmable logic chips. They've got the industrial controller chips. And they're dealing the drugs. Now they've got the cure for the drugs, and they're running the prison industrial complex, and they run the private aircraft that fly the prisoners in shackles across America for their appointments that could have been done right there in their own prison. And that's the cycle of Israeli / Jewish / Russian plus City of London bullshit, because not only did they want to imprison us, they're going to burn us dry with taxpayer funds along the way. They'll take it from this end and they'll grab it from that end and that side and that side. There'll be 75 back-ins for 75 fucking relatives, and we sit here like boring morons. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Coffee mugs are on special, ladies and gentlemen. Swag is coming soon. It's the only way to win. Have a great fucking day.
What is our common bond truly? Freedom. Freedom. Without freedom, you can't be a Christian no matter what denomination you belong to. You can't be a Buddhist. You can't own a donut shop. You can't drive from here to Oregon. You can't be an American, because that's what it's all about, and it's the only thing that it's all about. Nothing else. Nothing else. It's about freedom. Only freedom.